Russell Westbrook on that OKC team, this was tough to watch because he went after a fan going into halftime, and then he went after another fan after the game. Thankfully, local news outlets in Salt Lake City, Utah have the scoop. Take a look.
Keith, Chad Linebaugh says Utah fans are special. They're passionate, but most of all, they are respectful. The opposite of Westbrook's claims. Now, today, this Utah Jazz fan is sharing and showing his story.
The clip I have is about 15 seconds. Jazz wins. Many of Westbrook's teammates walk right by us. I'm naturally kind of filming them. Then he walks by. Again, I didn't say anything to him, and he simply turned and kind of aggressively actually hit my hand that had the phone in it.
So you felt his hand touch?
Yeah, I mean, for literally the next few minutes, I could feel, you know, he slapped me pretty good on the hand, and I'd call it a slap. It wasn't a punch or a hit, but it was a slap.
Great seats, a great win. But walking into Vivint Arena, you don't expect having that kind of interaction with a great player.
Really just one reason that I wanted to do this interview. It's not that I'm looking for exposure or, you know, financial gain or anything like that. It's truly, I just want the public to understand, in my opinion, the other side of the story.
Chad Linebaugh says he won't hold this against Westbrook.
Everything that I heard and saw was appropriate. It wasn't profanities. And to that end, Utah, we're a state where we welcome everybody, we embrace everybody, and we hope that Russell Westbrook will come back to Utah.
It's hard to dismiss that video right there. Now, the couple after the game, Utah Jazz security, NBA security, and OKC security went up to the couple, just asked them what happened. OKC security says he went to talk to Westbrook before talking to the couple, and Westbrook says he doesn't remember what happened.
It's actually not true. Russell Westbrook spoke to the media afterwards via SI's Ben Golliver in his press conference after losing Game 6 in Utah. And he actually does remember. Take a look.
I don't confront fans. Fans confront me. Here in Utah, man, a lot of disrespectful, vulgar things are said to the players here with these fans, man. It's truly disrespectful. Talk about your families, your kids, and it's just a disrespect to the game, man. I think it's something that needs to be brought up. And I'm tired of just going out and playing and letting fans say what the hell they want to say. I'm not with that, because if I was on the street, they wouldn't just come up to me and say anything crazy, because I don't play that. So I just think it's disrespectful when they get the chance to do whatever they want to do. It needs to be put to a stop, especially here in Utah.
We have talked about this so many times. What is, and I'm going to go over the history of Utah fans in just a moment, and not that it is symbolic of all Utah fans. There are just some extreme examples that follow this pattern. What exactly is okay and not okay to say? I usually follow the Chris Rock stand-up logic, which is, if someone rear ends me and they have one leg, I'm going to talk about the leg. And I get where he's coming from with that. And I get where fans are coming from, because they think that they're going to have an impact on the game by saying this thing and X thing about someone's mom or someone's kids. NBA players have heard way worse, most likely, from a guy like Kevin Garnett. Look at Carmelo Anthony, for example. Look at anybody, for example, with Honey Nut Cheerios and the smack that he talked during games. Is it okay for Russell Westbrook to hit this fan's phone out of his hand just because he was taking a video? If nothing happened, rather, if nothing was said that was vulgar, that was intense, that really hurt Russell Westbrook, and more importantly, talked about his family, because I do think that that's off limits for any fan whatsoever, then yeah, he's out of line. But if he thought that someone, and look, this happens in the heat of the moment, where he thought if someone was reaching for him or grabbing for him and he saw it out of the corner of his eye, it was reactionary. Utah fans, however, have been tough for opposing players. The Mercury News, this was back in, I believe, 2008, maybe 2007. Warriors claim Utah fans toss some racial slurs. Steven Jackson was in there going on the record. Jason Richardson was on that team. They both spoke. On top of that, Derek Fisher, at one point, got booed by Jazz fans because of the grudge over child care exit with the Utah Jazz. Basically, what happened was he was with the Jazz. He was with the Jazz, and his daughter, which I believe is on the next one, which also shows how classless this is, was treated for cancer in her eye. And this is what one Jazz fan did while Fisher, who was granted his release by the team because it was very difficult for him to fly from New York and LA and then back to Utah and be there for the game. You can imagine how much stress that is on a player, rather on anybody, if they have to fly from job to family, family to job, job to family, family to job. And this is what you have in your return when you finally are able to go home. Now, this is just one fan. This is not microcosmic of all fans. There's just a pattern. It's classless, immature, grown man who represents the majority of Utah fans. Like all teams, he did speak on the record, Derek Fisher. There are some rowdy fans, but Jazz fans cross the limits. They don't realize Jazz owner Larry Miller let Fisher go from his contract and that he made the move to LA for his family. With that being said, I do not believe that any fan should have the right to say anything they want just because they have an entry to the game and just because they pay to get into the game. You want to talk smack at the 300 level, as long as it isn't racial slurs, the players can't hear you, it doesn't matter. But I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I remember one fan who was at Oracle, I think it was last year, a female fan, called LeBron another word for I'll just say it, and if we got to blur it out, we will. He called him a pussy-ass bitch. Another one was saying that Delonte West loved LeBron James's mom. There are kids that are going to be there. There are many other fans that are going to be there. What is off limits? For me personally, if you're going after someone's family, if you're going after something like Derek Fisher's kid, try to just do it at home and enjoy your Miller High Lives.